Hello everyone! One of the classes you'll be taking in your first semester is going to be Internet Broadcasting.
You're probably asking yourself, what is Internet Broadcasting? To best describe it, it's all about podcasting.
Well, the audio part at least. You'll learn about video in the advanced class.
Anyways, let's dive into the contents of this class.
Podcasting is a digital file format made available on the internet for users to download. A podcast is more than just a video or audio file. It utilizes RSS to bring the content to the subscriber rather than the subscriber hunting it down. The instructors start off with the history of podcasting and the benefits it can bring to business. Did you know the term podcast was first coined in 2004? The first big project students work on is creating a sample episode for a company of their choosing.
This project gets you working on creating a proposal and an episode from scratch so that you can begin applying what you're learning. Proposals help with making podcasts because it gives both you and the podcast direction and purpose. By sitting in a booth and setting up the equipment with the script you've assembled, you really start getting a feel for your art, your way of doing things. As the class goes along, you learn more about what makes a good podcast, such as the importance of a schedule, listening and communicating with the audience, and measuring success of the series. After that, the majority of your semester is spent on creating your own multi-episode podcast.
What should I make a podcast about?
Oh, it can be anything that you want. Hobbies, places you've been, stories you've heard.
I'm gonna make a podcast about pineapples.
You go right ahead.
I'm going to. While you may think we're joking, we're serious. This is an example of a niche market. Niche refers to an audience that is interested in a very specific topic. Chris Coborn, one of the DMT instructors, worked on a niche podcast.
I worked on a niche podcast called Pan in Harmony. It's a steel drum music podcast. I would play music from various steel drum artists from around the world and get their permission to put their music on the podcast to help promote steel drum music and themselves as artists. At the end, I had about 400 plus, maybe closer to 500 subscribers. It became a lot of work to get the rights to play every song every week that I did the podcast, so eventually I stopped doing it, but I had a lot of fun doing it.
You learn more about how successful niche podcasts can be by taking this class. At the end of the semester, you start dabbling in a bit of video podcasting in preparation for the other video-related classes.
Well, now that you know what this class is all about, it's time to start learning about podcasts and making your own.
Before starting this class is a great time to start listening to podcasts. There are plenty to choose from on iTunes.
In fact, DMT runs its own podcast on this channel called TC Weekly, so get out there and get listening.
Bye!